Good morning, everyone. Once again, excited to share another poem with you. This one does not have an author unknown, which to me is quite marvelous because it's such a good poem. Somebody was humble enough not to give themselves credit for it. The poem is entitled In the Morning, and it's about prayer in the morning and coming to God and giving Him of our first fruits, the first fruits of our time and of our effort and of our strength and of our freshness in the morning after a night's sleep. In the Morning, by author unknown. I met the Lord in the morning when the day was at its best, and His presence came like sunshine, like a glory in my breast. All day long His presence lingered, all day long it stayed with me, and we sailed in perfect calmness o'er a very troubled sea. Other ships were torn and battered, other ships were sore distressed, but the winds that seemed to drive them brought to us sweet peace and rest. Then I thought of other mornings in a keen remorse of mind, when I too had loosed the moorings with His presence left behind. So I think I know the secret. Learn from many a troubled way. You must meet Him in the morning if you want Him through the day. This past Friday, our youth Bible time focused around persevering through the trials, being steadfast. And that steadfastness has to start with a close relationship with God, and that can only happen if we come to Him earnestly in prayer. But not just at a time when it's convenient to us. We have to start the day with prayer. We have to give Him of our first fruits. And I'd like you to turn with me, if you can, to Psalm chapter 90, and we'll look at verse 14. I pray that this verse is our prayer, is our desire. So Psalm chapter 90, verse 14. O satisfy us early with Thy mercy, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days. We don't want the Lord's mercy late. We want it as early as possible. We want to start with it. We want to continue with it, and we want to end with it. And Jesus gives us a beautiful example in Mark chapter 1, verse 35. So Mark chapter 1, verse 35, if you'd like to turn with me there. And in the morning, rising up a great while before the day, a great while, that means not 9 o'clock in the morning. That could be 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, before the dawning of the morning, as it speaks of in Psalm 119. He went out and departed into a solitary place and there prayed. I think if we follow that example, and I think if we find a quiet place of rest in the morning, I think you'll find that your whole day is different. Certainly that's been the case with me. This past week hasn't been easy. I had some troubles, had some delays. And yet, it's not the troubles that we want to flee. It's not the testing we want to flee. We want to flee our sin. We want to flee our flesh that doesn't want to give God our first, doesn't want to give God our best. God uses trials to shape us and to build us up. So we must flee not the trial, we must flee the sin. We must flee our own sinful nature that doesn't let us draw near to God. Thank you.